Welcome to Canal Media's weekly roundup from the banking sector. This week, banking headlines were dominated by loan write-offs, workplace stress, harassment reports, HR policy controversies, and compliance questions across PSBs and RRBs. Parliament disclosure triggered public debate, unions raised new alarms, and field-level stories exposed the widening gap between policy and ground reality. Here are the major developments shaping this week's banking news.
Beyond human tolerance, AIBOBOU flags severe harassment in Burdwan region. The All India Bank of Baroda Officers Union has alleged severe harassment and coercive work practices in the Burdwan region, calling the situation beyond human tolerance. In a letter to the Bank of Baroda MD and CEO, the union reported complaints of intimidation, fear, and mental distress among officers, allegedly due to the conduct of regional manager. Aibea announces vacancy for senior advisor HR and IR. Stakeholders raise eligibility concerns. The Aibea announced a vacancy for senior advisor HR and IR, prompting questions about eligibility norms. Stakeholders expressed concern that the criteria may narrow the pool or favor certain retired executives. They also sought broader representation from PSBs and employee bodies, highlighting the need for transparency in senior level appointments. AIBA holds dharna in Delhi highlighting issues in private sector banks. The All India Bank Employees Association held a dharna at Jantar Mantar in New Delhi on December 10, 2025, highlighting concerns in private sector banks. The protest focused on foreign investment, employee conditions, employment practices, and pension matters affecting staff in private banks. 5-day banking. UFBU set to circulate memorandums to IBA and Finance Ministry seeking immediate approval. UFBU will submit memorandums to IBA and the Finance Ministry seeking immediate approval for 5-day banking. Union said long working hours, digital communications, and staff shortages affect work-life balance. They argued customer service would remain stable due to digital channels and extended weekday hours. Right to Disconnect Bill 2025 introduced in Lok Sabha. The bill seeks to restrict employers from contacting staff after duty hours except in emergencies. It aims to reduce burnout and protect employees declining non-essential communication. Banking staff often receiving late evening instructions may see significant relief if the bill is effectively implemented. SBI Jhansi R1 staff allege working 3 consecutive weeks without weekly off. SBI Jhansi R1 employees reported working 3 consecutive weeks without a weekly off due to manpower shortages and rising administrative demands. Staff warned this affects health, morale, and service quality. The issue renewed calls for consistent weekly off implementation across all regions. A timeline of trauma. A woman banker allegedly faced systemic harassment, pregnancy loss, and repeated denial of transfer. A woman banker detailed years of harassment, denied transfer request, and workplace hostility. She said prolonged stress continued to a pregnancy loss, while complaints did not prompt timely action. The case exposed gaps between grievance mechanisms and protection from retaliation. SBI RBO level leave instruction sparks debates after social media post highlights branch concerns. A recent social media post has highlighted an internal instruction from an SBI regional business office that withdraws leave sanction authority from branch managers. Under the directive, all officers' leave application must now be sent to the regional manager for approval. The move has sparked neutral discussion about how such changes may affect decision making at the branch level. 5-day banking week focus reflected in CBOF Diary 2026 launch, highlighting work-life balance and key officer concerns. The Canara Bank Officers Federation launched its Diary 2026 in Mumbai, highlighting key demands like a 5-day banking week and better work-life balance. The diary's covers focuses on long-standing officer concerns, including staff shortages, regulated working hours, and pension reforms. Public sector banks write off rupees 6.15 lakh crore. Parliament reply on bad loans and capital position draws union response. Public sector banks have written off rupees 6.15 lakh crore in bad loans over 5.5 years, according to a finance ministry reply in Parliament. With no fresh capital infusion since FY 22-23, banks have relied on profits and market borrowings to strengthen their position. Unions say these large write-offs mostly reduce NPAs on paper and do not guarantee actual recovery, especially from small borrowers. AIBOBOU flags toxic work atmosphere, arbitrary HR policies, and breakdown of social dialogue in Bank of Baroda. The All India Bank of Baroda Officers Union have raised serious concerns about work culture, transparency in HR policies, and the breakdown of social dialogue in Bank of Baroda. The union has asked, is this truly a public sector bank? Who is running the bank? Where is the accountability? While seeking clarification from the Department of Financial Services on the bank's accountability and compliance mechanism. Compassionate appointments in RRBs incomplete despite NABARD and DFS directions. Several RRBs have not finalized compassionate appointments despite clear NABARD and DFS directions. Families face long delays due to repeated documentation checks and inconsistent interpretations. Unions say this defeats the purpose of timely financial relief and urge stricter monitoring. AINBA flags delay in wage settlement and pension updation for NABARD employees. AINBA raised concerns over prolonged delays in wage settlement and pension updation for NABARD employees. The association said staff morale is affected, especially as other financial institutions have completed revisions. It urged faster approvals to ensure parity and fairness. AIRRBOF urges immediate police action after assault on RRB officer in Uttar Pradesh. AIRRBOF demanded quick police action after an RRB officer in Uttar Pradesh was allegedly assaulted during duty. The incident highlighted rising staff safety risks for rural banking. The union called for stronger protection protocols and better coordination with authorities. CBI arrests UP Gramin Bank official in bribery case at Azamgarh. The CBI arrested Uttar Pradesh Gramin Bank officials in bribery case linked to a loan processing. The incident raised concerns about corruption risks in RRBs. Employees said such cases damage public trust and called for stronger audit and oversight mechanism. Inside an RRB branch, a daily battle against decay, disregard, and impossible targets. A feature described poor infrastructure, outdated system, and heavy targets in an RRB branch. Staff struggle with connectivity issues, limited space, and multitasking across roles. The report highlighted burnout risk and urged investment in technology and staffing. Odisha Gramin Bank faces allegations of irregular NPA conversion and staff pressure. Employees alleged pressure to irregularly reclassify NPAs to improve asset quality. They warned such practices pose compliance risks and ethical dilemmas. Unions urged regulators to review the issue and protect the staff from potential disciplinary consequences.
That's all for this week's roundup. Stay tuned with Kanal Media for more updates and developments that matter to bankers.